Hey guys, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and this is an interesting one. So, obviously I've been playing craps for like 1,000 years, and back in the old days, people would, obviously they didn't really do as many combo bets as they do now. But we always had, all kinds of strategies that were around the 6-8, even in John Patrick's old books and things like that. You always had things that, remember the 6, 7, and the 8 have more ways to be made than any of the other numbers on an individual basis. So there was always some type of strategy with a 6 or 8. But Waylon did something on his brand new channel, Waylon's Way Craps with Alicia, that I thought was interesting. He did it on Crapsy. And I was going to do it on Crapsy, but with manual rolls, and maybe I'll follow this video up with that. I want to do it with manual rolls, but I want to show you what it is. And the reason I'm showing you this one is because there are a lot of people that watch my channel that are newer to craps, or they, or members that have joined as lifetime members of Cruise Casino Mafia. And they were baccarat players or roulette players. So craps is something new to them. And some of these people are still being very reluctant to learn some of the, shall we say, intermediate strategies because they're nervous about it, which they absolutely should not be. This one is so easy, though. So I'm going to show you what he was doing. And I don't know how I feel about this strategy. It did really well on his channel, but it's not really a math-based strategy. It's not something that he normally does or I normally do. It's based on something that he's noticed over the years, which is that if a 6 or an 8 is rolled, many, many times after the 6-8 is rolled, another number is rolled. Not the 7, but another number is rolled. So it's not really based on math. There's no math backing that up. And normally I'm not the biggest fan of those type of systems, but it looks so much fun and so easy that I thought I would show you. So here we go. What he does is he starts out with a lay bet. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this one level up from what he did. Where he did it at the Bubble Craps level, we're going to do it as a $10. We're still at Bubble Craps. We're going to do it one level up, which is this is about a $1,200 bankroll. So we'll lay the 4 for 10, and then we'll wait for a 6 or an 8 to roll. Okay, that's a 5. We don't do anything. 9. 8. There we go. So now what he does is he clears this bet out, and then he goes across 10, 10, and we're not going to cap it because you don't have to cap it on Bubble Craps. And we're looking for one hit. Okay, so it's an 8. Oh, whoops, got to leave the bet up. So after any time there's a 6 or an 8 rolled, we're going to put these bets out. So it came right back with a 6 or 8, so we're just going to leave the bets out there again. All right, that's a 5, which is not a 6 or 8, so now we come down. And that's really the whole story. So we'll do this for a few minutes and see what it looks like. Very different way of using the 6 and 8. We're up $25 already. All right, so we go back out with the lay bet, and we'll stay on the 4. If we get knocked off our lay bet, we don't go up. I mean, you could ladder if you wanted to. But if we get knocked off, we'll just go on the lay 10. We'll flip-flop back and forth if we need to. So now we have to wait. Okay, that's a 5. That's all that triggers us is a 6 or an 8. So we don't do anything. That's a 6. So now we're going to take our lay bet down, and we're going to go back out across the board. And if you were playing this on a regular table, not Bubble Craps, you would have to cap these. Like these would be $12 each, the 6 and 8. So here we go. All right, we made money, we had the 5, but it's not a 6 or an 8. So now we come down. And that's really the whole story here. And when he was playing it at the $5 level, he was looking for $100 to $200. I'm playing it at the $10 level, right? So we would be looking for like $200, you know, or a little bit more, whatever. Whatever makes you happy. So now let's go back out on the lay bet. Oh, what were we up? We're up $40 basically. Okay, so let's go back out on the lay bet. All right, there's the 8. That's our trigger. And now we're going to go back out with our bets across, just like this. And there's a 5. We made money, right? We made 14, but it's not a 6 or an 8. So what do? We have to come down. Okay. And now we're going to go back out with our lay bet. Oh, geez. I was not paying attention, guys. I was interested in the lay bet. I have no idea whether a 6 or an 8 was rolled. I'm sorry. That was my fault. I don't even remember what the one before this was. I was hitting the button so fast. Sorry. There's a 5. There's a 6. Okay. I don't know if I missed one or not. I apologize. I was just hitting the button. I'm so used to playing lay bets for the lay bets, and I'm looking for the 6 and 8. Okay, here you go. And that's the first time we've had a 7 out, right? We've had a 7 out. So we're down now, right? So you can play this laddering up, or you can stay in the same place. So if we were to ladder up right now, we would go back out. Let's stay in the same place for now. Let's play it without the laddering. You can always try this and test it with the laddering. Okay, we made money because that was a 7, so we made a little bit of our money back already. All right, there's the 8. So let's just go back out, and we're not going to ladder. We're just going to do this to get the basic feeling. But obviously, if you lost like we did, you would ladder up. All right, there's the 8, and we're going to leave it out here because it was a 6 or an 8. And also realize that the puck being on or off, it doesn't matter. We're going to have to tell the dealer, or if we're on bubble craps, we're going to make sure that these bets are active, that they're working on the come out. You have to click the button. That's a 2. That is not a 6 or an 8, so we have to come down. So once it's not a 6 or an 8 that's rolled, you have to come down. Okay, so you see we're back up again, right? So even without laddering, we're back up money. Not to where we were. We were up about $25. But let's just see how it plays without laddering. All right, that's a 5. That's another 5. And there's a 7, so we made another, we made $5 here, because you make half on the lay bet on the 4 and the 10, so you make about $5. Okay, we made another $5 basically. All right, there's a 5. We're waiting for the 6 or the 8, right? That's the 8. So now we go back across. It's the easiest, one of the easiest systems I've seen. I don't know how it performs. Waylon says he's played it quite a bit. It is so simple, and it obviously is pretty stress-free. We're not showing it with the laddering after a full loss, but you could certainly ladder. Okay, there's a 9. We have to take everything down because it's not a 6 or an 8. We made money. We made money, and we're back in profit. So we're up $33. So even though we didn't ladder and take any major risk, we're back above where we were, right? So let's go back up. And again, you can lay the 4 or the 10, but we haven't gotten knocked off the 4. yet. And of course, that you know what's happening next. Well, I guess not. There's the 8. So we got to come down and we got to go back across. So just take the lay bet down and come across with whatever your bet is. You can do this with 5s, with 10s, whatever. Okay, that is not a 6 or 8. So we're going to come down. Or it's not a hit. You know what? I don't remember now. Yeah, it's a one-shot deal. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's a one-shot deal. It did not hit, and it was not a 6 or 8, so we have to come down. I'm pretty sure that's correct. All right, here we go. 5, 6. There we go. So let's go back across. So far, not much stress. Look, didn't make any money, and it wasn't a 6 or 8. So we're coming down. This is a fun little strategy. I don't know how it does long term. No idea. But I thought I would show it to everybody. There's a 5. There's a 11. Another 11. There's the 8. So we got to come down and go back across. And again, you can play this at a much higher level, or you can play it like he was doing, which was a $5 lay bet, and then when we got the 6 and the 8, they were $5 across. He was putting 6 here on each. But if you're playing on the bubble craps, you don't have to do that. You can do it, but you don't have to. All right. And there's another 8. So we got paid, and we can stay up because it's a 6 or an 8. And there's another 8, so we can stay up again. And we get knocked on our ass. Okay. All right. So again, we're back to square one. So maybe you have to ladder up possibly, right? Maybe that's the case if you're not back in profit to where you are. So you're going to have to test that. But the main thing I wanted to show was how does this thing move? Okay, first time we got knocked off. So we will go up now. So we'll switch to the 10 and we'll go to 20. All right, not a 6 or an 8. There's a 5. And there's an 8. So let's come down. So now we're going to go to 20. Okay. And there's an 8. And so we made money and we can stay out here. And there's a 4, which pays us double. So that's even better. We got paid 40 on that one. But we can't stay up because it wasn't a 6 or an 8. Right? It has to be a 6 or an 8 for you to be out here. That's his logic behind this system. And I've never played anything quite like this. So I thought I would show you guys instead of just demoing it for myself. We're up almost 50 bucks now, and I would absolutely go back to the base now. That's for damn sure. So we were on the 10. So we'll stay on the 10, but now we drop down to our base, which was $10. Okay, there's the 6 right away. And we're going to go back out with our $10 on each. And there's the 10, which is a great one because it pays 2 to 1. So we get 20 bucks there, right? So that basically is almost like it's covering 2 of these numbers. And we can't stay out there, though. Excuse me. Only on the 6 and 8 can we stay out there. All right. Got to go back out with our lay bet. And that's the 6. So we can go back out again. So let's just keep doing this for a few more minutes. And again, you saw me ladder up once. I'd have to demo this a lot more to kind of get a feeling of really when I would really do the ladder. As usual with craps, you don't have to ladder like you do progressions in Baccarat and roulette all the time. And that's something that a lot of people just don't seem to understand. They think it's like Baccarat, where it's, I lost, I do this. I lost, I do this. You don't have to do that with craps if you have a good system. But I think in this situation, there are times where I probably would do the ladder. There you go. We made money on the 6, so we're going to stay out there because it was a 6 or an 8. 12, boxcars, nothing. And there's the 10. That was really good, but we can't stay out there because it wasn't a 6 or an 8. And we'll go back out, and now we're up $100. You see how fast that happened? I don't know. I don't think this is not a math-based system. This is a logic-based system from playing for 40 years like he has. I've never paid attention to the fact that when a 6 or an 8 shows up, what normally comes after. So I can't back any of that up. And obviously, I don't think there's any math that backs that up. It's something that he's learned over the years or felt, and that's what he's doing. And we get knocked off the 10. We're not going to go up because we're still up money. So we'll just flip to the 4. Ha! That's funny. We got knocked off both times. All right, we're still not going to go up. We'll go back to the 10. And that happens sometimes. You are going to get knocked off your lay bet. We haven't gotten knocked off much, but we just made up for that. All right, there's the 6. So let's go back out. And again, if you wanted a ladder up after getting knocked off your lay bet, you could do that. It depends on how aggressive you want to be with your bankroll. I don't think you need to be. Okay, we made money on the 9, but it's not a 6 or 8. So we got to come down. So the most we've been up was 99. We're up 93 now. After all those getting knocked around, we're still up. Were we on the 10? I think we were on the 10. Okay, so here we go. We put the lay bet back out. Yeah, we would have gotten knocked off the 4. Okay, that's a 9. No big deal. We're only looking for 6s and 8s. And there's the 7 out, so we made another bonus $10 there. Okay, that's a 4. And there's the 7 out, another bonus $10. All right, and there's the 8. So it triggers us in for the $10 across. I'll put the link to Waylon showing this with real dice. Oh, beautiful. There's the 6, which means we can stay out here for another roll. There's the 6 again, so we can still stay out there. There's the 6 again. How do you like that? And there's the 5. Okay, so now we did really well on that roll. It's kind of almost like a hit and run. It is a hit and run strategy, but it's based on something I've never seen. I think we were on the 10. Oh, what are we up? We're up $151 right now. Okay? So if you figured this is about a $1,200 bankroll, if you're playing at the $10 level, you're already, look what you're up already. I mean, that's crazy. I would probably be almost... Here's what I would do. I'm going to tell you exactly what I would do. If I was playing at this level with a $1,200 bankroll and I was up anywhere in this area, 150, 170, 180, if I wanted to keep playing, which is probably not what I would do, this is where I would go down to the level he was playing, the $5 level, just to make a few extra bucks and be done. So let's do that. Let's play it as if we were in the casino. So we already made over 10% on our money, right? 10% is $100. So we're almost up 10% of our money, whatever. Okay? So now I want to hold that money. So I'm going to drop down to the lower level and play $5 now on the lay bet. What is that? 8. Okay, here we go again. So now we're just going to go $5 across. So if you want to play with a $600 bankroll like he did, you can play with the $5 level. There it is. There's the 6. And we get to stay out there. And there's the 8. We get to stay out there. And there's another 8. And there's the 4. Wow. How do you like that? So we drop down to protect our profits to the lower level, and we're up 180 bucks. So let's just do one more. There's the 8. So pull this off and go back out. Maybe Waylon figured something out. I've never really paid attention to what follows the 6 or 8. And there's the 4. Pays double. But we can't stay out there because it wasn't a 6 or an 8. And there you go. We're close to 200 bucks. Want to do it one more time? Let's do it one more time. Which is usually the worst thing that you can do, right? In real life, I would have been thrilled to death with that 188 or 190, and I would have run out the door. But this will be the last time. Boxcars. Oh, shoot, that had to come down. Can't stay out there because it wasn't a 6 or an 8. I got lucky. I could have lost it there because I needed to take that money down because it wasn't a 6 or an 8. So there we go. We're at $188. You guys get the idea. The only thing that you want to think about is it worth it to go up or ladder? And I would say to you, most of the time when it comes to the laddering decision, if you're still in profit after getting knocked down, you make money so easily with these systems that I don't really think that you need a ladder up. If you get knocked off without getting any hits and you had a losing sequence twice in a row, then you absolutely have to ladder. At least that's what I would do. Okay? So there you go. Almost 200 bucks. No real risk. Only lost straight across once. And we only laddered once. So, thanks to Waylon for something really fun and simple. I'm always looking to show you guys things that are easy to ease you into this amazing game. The reason I like craps so much is because the amount of variety of bets and the combinations that you can do are so different in this game than any of the other games like Baccarat or Roulette. And there is no monkey business going on here. They're physical dice, and we know exactly the statistics and the odds and how many combinations make up every one of these numbers. Okay? And that's what makes this game so powerful. It makes it nervous and confusing for some people because the layout looks confusing. But what did we really do here? We made one lay bet, and when a 6 or an 8 came up, we placed all these bets. So, I mean, how difficult is that? If you do what I just did and go to Wizard, in 10 minutes you know how to do this. You don't have to be the craps guru. Okay? You're not using horn bets. You're not replacing field bets. You're not even using a don't pass and a pass line. All right? So it's about as easy as it can get, and that's why I wanted to show it to you guys. And you can play this at any level. You can play these for $100 chips. You can play these for $25, right? These could have been $25 level chips. You have to have the right bankroll. So that's the story there. We'll be doing a lot more videos this week and next week. And I hope you guys had a chance. A lot of big things are happening here. So this week, at some point, you are going to see some major announcements and major changes after 2.5 years of us doing this and having Cruise Casino Mafia. You are going to be introduced to the next phase. In the meantime, you can still get the latest Module 1 Casino Diversification Toolbox, which is a massive amount of strategies and so much more than strategies. This is your business plan. That's really what this is, but it includes the strategies and money management that will crush it in the casino. If you learn how to do it correctly and you practice, the money that you're spending here will be made back relatively quickly, systematically, and methodically. Okay? That's why I lowered this price to the $450. This price will go up to what this value truly is very, very soon. So if you haven't bought this yet, you may as well do it at this price because you're going to be paying a lot more money very, very soon. And you're going to know why. We're going to be rolling some things out very quickly here. This week is the start of phase 2 for what started over 2.5 years ago. There are so many things that are coming. I am so excited. I'm working myself to death here, but it's all going to be worth it. So that is the deal. And by the way, when you buy this right now at this price, you're also getting a Las Vegas hotel voucher, complimentary, so you and a friend can go to Vegas, and that's all you'd have to pay is the taxes, and we're paying for everything else. Basically, the voucher gives it to you, the premium hotels in Vegas. You don't have to go right away. You could book it for up to 18 months out. All right? And I forgot to say this in the last video. A lot of people that have bought this, new people, have never experienced any of the Premier Paycheck Series stuff, right? These other things. If you buy this, send me an email and let me know that you're interested in Fortune Formula or Baccarat Equalizer or Baccarat Squared, which is not up here at the moment. And I will give you a special discount to buy another system for a ridiculously discounted price. I want you to succeed. That's the bottom line. And I want to celebrate where we're going and the excitement that everybody here is having. And you'll see why in the next week or so. We're going to start rolling out the next phase, and it's all really fun, really amazing, educational stuff. And this is just the start. We'll see you on the next one. I hope you enjoyed this craps video. And this is the system that it was right here, the 6-8 Waylon strategy. And he says it's an awesome bankroll builder. And so far, the little bit I've done, I have to tell you that it has been really amazing. And this is on Waylon's new channel, Waylon's Way Craps, with his girlfriend, Alicia. Waylon's Way Craps with Alicia. And you can see him roll it out. I thought he was rolling this out on the regular table. He didn't. He did it on Crapsy. I apologize. So you can see the ups and downs and see how it did for him, just doing it at the lower level. So check it out, and we'll see you on the next video, guys.